Hey up, how you doing? You alright? So, ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened. I've gone crazy, crackers, cuckoo, bonkers, mad, gone mad. It's actually happened. So what we're brewing today, we are brewing a no-eye beer. No-eye beer pale we're doing. So this came about after a conversation. I think I was weighing out some hops, and Becky and Martha was there at the island in the kitchen. I was putting the hops together and I'm weighing them out and writing down when they've got to go, where. And they went, "Oh, can we pick the hops for a beer?" I went, whoa, hang on a minute, hang on, steady your gallop. It's like, I know I make this look easy, but you can't just chuck hops together, any willy-nilly hops in any beer, can you? It's like, I've honed my skills. I've done my apprenticeship. I've served my time. It looks like easy peasy lemon squeezy, but, you know, it takes a bit of sorting. I just make it look easy. And then we got chatting and it was like, do you know what? Should we? So, I decided I was going to do a pale ale. It's a simple malt bill. 4.5 kgs of Maris Otter Extra Pale. It's got 100 grams of crystal and it's got 50 grams of flaked oats. I got my hops out freezer, right? Laid them out on the table. I took my bittering hops away and I gave them 3 choices. 10 minutes to go, flame out or dry hop. Whatever hop they picked to put with any hop, at any of them 3 times, I was going with. Even if I thought it was a bad idea. So we've taken the bittering hops out. Everything else is absolutely fair game. And I was quite surprised with the results. I thought would be heavier hops. More of them, but no, there's not loads. There's not loads. I'm going to go with it. We're going to have a bit of fun. See how it turns out. There was no influence in here, as you will probably see when I show you the video. I'll input the video now, and I'll come back and just reiterate what we've got. All right.
Let's do this one. I don't know what it is.
Idaho 7. How much?
20 grams.
When?
Last 10 minutes. You give me 3 options.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Should I put this here?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm going to pick this one because it's in a silver packet.
Citra. How much?
22 grams
When?
at the beginning.
No. Last 10 minutes, flame out or dry hop?
Dry hop.
Okay.
Gonna matter.
I'm gonna choose.
You can use them again for the next bit if you want.
Don't do that. Choose something else.
This one because it looks different.
Mosaic?
It's also a mosaic.
How much when?
18 grams. Can we do the same as we already done, or does it need to be different?
You can do last 10 minutes, flame out or dry hop, either.
Flame out.
This one.
SARS, how much?
15 grams.
When?
Dry hop. Dry hop.
Next. One more.
Is that it?
One
Oh
more.
my goodness. That's not it. This one then.
Bromley Cross, how much?
17 grams.
At.
Flame out.
So there you go. That's what they picked. Dry up's interesting, isn't it? So we ended up with 20 grams of Idaho 7 for the last 10 minutes. That's the only one they picked. Like I said, I'm not going to influence this. I wanted more. We're not going to influence this because this could be the greatest beer ever brewed, ever. So 20 grams of Idaho 7 last 10 minutes. We've got 18 grams of Mosaic and 17 grams of Bramlin Cross at flame out. We've got 20 grams of Citra, 15 grams of SARS for a dry hop. That's going to go in at after fermentation, 14 degrees for 4 days, I've decided. Well, like I said, I wasn't going to influence it. This is we're doing it. We are doing it. We're going to see what it's like. We're going to ferment under pressure. We're going to use, gives a bit of fruitiness apparently, so that might just give us a bit of extra fruit that we might need. Cross me leaf clipper at 19 degrees, or maybe 18 degrees. 18 degrees. Under about 12 psi of pressure. That's what we're going to do. Is this a good idea? What do you reckon? This is going to be interesting, isn't it? So we're at a boil. A 40-minute boil again today. No bittering hops. I've got 30 minutes left. It's got a protofloc going in. I've got a sample cooling out there to check the pH. pH isn't quite right. We're going to give this every chance actually, because we need to help these hops along, don't we? There's not a big charge. So we're going to make sure the pH is spot on. Put some lactic acid in if we need to. Come back hopefully with a beer in our hand. Hey up, how are we doing? So we have a beer in the glass once again. Look at that. So when I first poured this, I was worried. I had it in one of those small bowl glasses. It looked a bit brown. It hasn't cleared, and I'm blaming that clipper yeast. I'm not convinced that clipper yeast clears out completely. But in a bigger glass, it looks a better colour with a nice head. Now we're not, so let's just have a sip of it. We'll talk about why it could have been oxidised, maybe, but it isn't. I'm going to be honest, I've had this on keg a bit. So it was sat there a little while, and yeah, I've nearly drunk it. So how did we turn out? So what happened was, I pressure fermented. First time I pressure fermented and dry hopped. There was a little bit of a catalogue of disasters. Everything that you shouldn't do when dry hopping in a fresh pressure fermenter, I think I did. So, and you're going to be shouting at the screens going, what are you doing, Rick? And I did the same afterwards. So I think the krausen on top, when you pressure ferment, until you cold crash, it sort of sits there, doesn't it? It's got carbonation in it, sits on the top. So releasing the pressure through the pressure valve took me about half an hour, really slowly. The krausen started going, ooh, I'm big krausen, I'm getting bigger. Agitating it. So I had to keep stopping, leaving it and going away and coming back, and it did me head in. I got a bit bored, I've got to be honest. So I thought I got the pressure out, I cranked the top and poosh, popped off a bit, and then there was krausen coming out the top, so I was rushing. So to be fair, there shouldn't have been any oxygen got in there, because you should have had some CO2, and that krausen should have protected it. So I was rushing to get the hops in, and then get the lid back on, and then screw it up, and trying to clean the mess. It was a right mess, trying to clean the mess up, but we got the lid back on. But then I did the cardinal sin, and I don't know to this day still how I did it. The spunding valve went on. The product out. So off I went. It was in the day. Popped back in the evening for a beer, and obviously the pressure had built back up again, hadn't it? And I was like, now this clipper yeast, I think, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, I think it's quite distinctive. Zaka and Ariana, I walked back in here and I went, oh, that smells like that beer I've got on tap. Hang on a minute. Open that. Actually, I saw a puddle down on the floor in the front, just a little bit. And I opened it. Yeah, it was coming out the spunding valve. Luckily, I must have caught it reasonably early because I hardly lost anything. But it was aimed at the back, so it had gone, hit the down the back of the fermenter. Yeah, ran down and popped off the bottom into the well at the back where the drain hole is. So it had drain hole, filled that, if it's got one of them trays underneath, and then it started running out of here, and I was like, oh my god, this is a mess. And I don't know how I did it, because my lids, that tells me it's gas. I even have it on my kegs, look. Bit of tape. It tells me it's gas. It couldn't be simpler, could it? Not a Scooby. Not a clue what I did. It won't happen again because I've now got my hot bong. I'd even on there, look, I've even put gas. And the dip tube always goes on the other one. Always. What was I doing? So, I flushed her out with some water. I cleaned it out with some Star San. Put it back on. And it seemed to work, but I don't know what's in there. I guess there's a diaphragm or something. Maybe that, I don't know. I hope I caught it early enough and got it cleaned out so it's not all sticky. I've not done a pressure ferment 6 since. I'm hoping. I keep popping it on the gas, just checking, moving it up or down. It seems to be working a minute, so I'm hoping. Anyway, to the beer. We have not cleared out. Like I say, I've got a funny feeling that's that Clipper yeast. It's not super vibrant, but it's not brown like I thought it looked in one of them bowls. It's fruity smell. That Clipper yeast, I think, gives it brings something to the party itself, doesn't it? Probably should have used USO5, but you can get those hops, some of those hops coming through. But the thing is with this, some hops get lost, don't they? Those SARS, there's absolutely nothing, no sign of them SARS. But we was expecting that, wasn't we? There's some citrus and some mango, with some pine in there, some earthy notes kicking about, and I think I can definitely taste a bit of vanilla. It's got a lovely mouthfeel. Carbonation's good. It's holding the head. Nice bit of lacing. Like I said, I think that a cleaner yeast should have been used for this experiment. But to be fair, in my defence, I hadn't tasted anything with Clipper in. I brewed a beer with it, but I hadn't tasted it yet. And I didn't realise it was so influential. I think it's probably got less influential as the keg's going down. But the smell that came off that Krausen before I dry hopped, I can definitely still smell in here. It definitely brings that to the pie. Brings its own fruitiness in its own way, that yeast. So, the moral of the story, the test. Was the test successful or not? The beer, the beer's lovely. The beer, there's hardly any left. It's a lovely, fruity, smooth, easy drinking. What did it come out at? Came out at 5.4% of the ABV. I think it finished at 1.010, 1.009. So, if we believe my hydrometer, if I do actually, but we're there or thereabouts. Say fruity, citrusy, orangey, No piffiness. It's really smooth, really easy drinking. It smells really nice. It's beautiful. I'm still working my carbonation. I mean, you can see the carbonation going up there. Can you? I don't know if you can. But I'm sort of still working that out. I did a close transfer. But I say, next one is going to be hop bonging. I think I'm going to up the hops because I've got used to pressure transferring now. I've got the hop bong if that works okay. So we're enclosed, aren't we? That oxygen is not getting anywhere near me. Now I don't have to take the lid off and spray stuff everywhere. And this has probably been in the keg 4 or 5 weeks, and I cleared my fermentation fridge out again and made it spotless because I thought I'd done a decent job before, but I hadn't quite. But I haven't used it since. But that is another tale to tell because I've brewed. Some hops are always going to overpower other hops, and this is why we pick hops carefully, isn't it? This is the preciseness of knowing your hops and the alpha acids and when to put them in and what to put with what, so they don't just cancel each other out. But this has proven it was a bit of a giggle. I mean, I've enjoyed this, really enjoyed it. Some hops have been lost, some hops are still here, but that just shows that we knew that, didn't we? I mean, we knew that was the point. This is what we do every time we brew, isn't it? It's we balance hops, we balance malt. But yes, you can let your family grab a load of hops, different amounts at different times, and you can pull out a lovely, lovely, fantastically drinkable, very enjoyable libation. Again, I've really enjoyed this. Absolutely fantastic. Very, very nice indeed. Right, I'm going to go and enjoy it. Cheers.
Like, subscribe and hit the bell.